You ready to start?
Yes. The regular council meeting with Tuesday, June 21st is called to order. It's about 6:33.
Correct.
Okay, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Counselor Bahoviak. Counselor Gowdy. Counselor Stevenson. Counselor
Present.
Martin.
Present.
All counselors are accounted for.
Okay, mark of the public on the agenda, item 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And we're going to stick to that. And your time at the end, we're going to stick to it. We got a long agenda. We're going to try to stick to the time. Everyone had 2 minutes to speak on the agenda items only. That's things on this agenda. Hello, Mr. O'Malley, how are you?
Hello, and I hope the council speak to the, honor the same request. They have 5 minutes. So speaking here, first of all, I'd like to kind of felicitate the council for bringing this piece back on the agenda to this evening. And I trust that the council will be unanimous in their vote as they were in the beginning, that to override the veto. And I just have faith and confidence that you will do it, and we will appreciate it, and you will not be sorry for doing so. And I think that we are a beacon in the city, and we will continue to be. And we, as you can see, that we constantly doing things at the library. And hopefully we will be, we have our printers up and operating, as well as we will have a marquee out front telling you what's going on behind those 4 walls. So I think this would serve us well. And so I'm here to see that that you do your due diligence. So council has the authority and it rests with you. So we thank you for what you have done thus far.
Any minutes be approved, Madam Clerk? Move or- I see it. Go ahead.
And I have to ask for people online.
John Jones, how are
Yeah.
you?
Good,
Okay.
thank you,
All right.
Council President. I wanted to ask about the contracts for construction on the building.
Say it
The
again.
contracts for construction? Yeah, isn't that part of the,
No, that's on, I don't see it on the agenda. At the end, you can speak about that, but this is what, the first 2 minutes about agenda items only.
At the end is on anything.
At the end, you can speak on anything.
okay. I wanted to also speak about the salaries. Smile, please. Smile, Council President. It's just a little disheartening that, you know, people have not been paid their full salary. They haven't received their increase. And I don't understand why we're delaying it. Because if you aren't getting your full salary, you would be unhappy about that. You need probably every penny because gas is at $5 a gallon. Food is at an all-time high. And I just think it's right to put this through, not as a first read or a second read, but we need to know what.
No, I hear what you're saying.
Okay, I thought you were saying, no, I don't want to do it because you were shaking your head no. So thank you.
Okay,
Thank you,
Thank you.
Council President.
thank you.
So actually what I wanted to do was I wanted to get a vote to pass it through as an emergency. That's not going to happen? Why?
I'm not gonna vote for it.
Why?
But we don't even have a dialogue. Talk about it when we get to the legislation. Not gonna, I can tell you that, it's not gonna pass as an emergency, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, because
And for the record, if you got with dialogue, I am in favor of them getting what they have coming. it's gonna be done right, and I said that, and I'm gonna tell you something transpired leading up to it. You do it here.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you,
Thank you.
Council. Thank you, Mayor.
Anybody online have anything to say? Any residents online have anything to say on the agenda items only? Okay, nobody.
To the reports and announcements of the mayor, Mayor Brandon King, Honorable Mayor, good to see you this evening.
Good to see you, all right, everyone. I have two handouts here.
All right,
I'd
pass it
like
on.
to take one of each councilman and pass the rest of them down. I will try to make my announcements as quickly as possible, to take questions at the end. We talk about COVID-19, a little bit about Juneteenth. Like to read over veto. And I'd like to make a special plea to city council as a whole, the president, the vice president. Okay. We've been at this for a couple of years now, COVID-19. Please get vaccinated, get the boosters. Encourage everyone you know to get vaccinated and get the booster. Last weekend was a very special weekend. Celebrated Juneteenth. Many of you know. Our council vice president does something and has been doing something for a number of years. He is online, so I'm sure he'll talk more about that. This Friday, we did our first ever employee celebration of Juneteenth. It's right here in the courtroom. It was very well thought out and planned event. I'd like to thank the ladies who were on the committee and put it together, including the two new EAs who are with us. Also at the event, we passed out a COVID-19 booster, COVID-19 plus booster bonus checks. So any employee who has the card that shows they were vaccinated twice and have one booster are eligible for a bonus check, and that comes compliments of the president and the ARPA
If
funds.
you got the two shots, you don't have the booster, you don't have to have the booster.
Yes, so what we're doing, because we're giving out premium pay on a quarterly basis, we will bring this back at the end of the next quarter, timing it with the payment so that we don't bombard HR with this particular thing. So we'll be offered again, there will be offered again until hopefully we get all employees vaccinated. That's what this is about, right? It's about getting everyone vaccinated. Right? That's the Juneteenth. It's good to see a lot of you here, and I know there's much fanfare around the property that is on the agenda for the library. Many of you know who were here before. We spoke on it then. In my report, I laid out what would come. I did state that I would veto all the pieces of legislation regarding those properties. I vetoed them, and I outlined why. Those are one of the documents that I've given to council. If there's any documents, if any of you would like a copy of it. Yes, I'm going to. Okay, are there any extras of those? I'd like to pass it on.
No, I passed it down there. I have
Anyone
one.
need extra? Is that,
We got two extras in here.
there were like 10. Are these extra? What do you want to do?
Here they are.
That's them as well. Okay, go ahead, these. Okay, yours, and here's yours, and I'll just.
And Brandon, I'm going to get to kind of summarize that.
Okay, I'm not gonna read. Would you mind passing those around, and if you need, yes, if people need more copies, we can provide. Okay, so I'm gonna try to read this and make it real quick.
Which one you don't have?
I am on the veto, right? So I'm gonna go over the veto first. First, I want to read the powers of the mayor under the charter of the city of East Cleveland. General powers and duties. The mayor shall be the chief executive officer of the city responsible for carrying out and fulfilling the intent and purpose of any and all legislation duly passed by the council. The mayor shall supervise the administration of all the affairs of the city and the conduct and administration of all departments and divisions thereof, except the council, and as otherwise provided by this charter. And the mayor shall have such powers as are conferred upon mayors by the laws of the state of Ohio. By the laws of the state of Ohio. Under the veto, here are the 5 points. Land coming out of the city land bank must have an application. There must be a reason for applying for it. In this transfer of 5 parcels, there was no plan for the rehabilitation or the repurposing of this land. That's 1. 2, all land coming out of the city's land bank must have an appraisal. The ORC number is there. Can't sell land without an appraisal. There was no appraisal submitted for any of the 5 parcels. No appraisal. 3, there was no authorization from an organizing body of oversight. The land was subject to be transferred to the East Cleveland Public Library Board. The East Cleveland Public Library Board does not own the library. The school board owns the library. The school board must apply or must give them consent to apply for this property. This is just a matter of policy and procedure and how things should be done. That's all this is about. 4, there was no adherence to the land bank's process, including no application being presented. This 5 parcels never went in front of the NAC, which is the Neighborhood Advisory Committee, right? And the NAC hears every parcel. Whether the NAC votes it up or votes it down, it can still come to council for council to approve it or disapprove. But every parcel that comes out of the land bank goes in front of the NAC. This never went in front of the NAC. And 5th, per the charter rule 8, all legislation that comes to council is submitted to the law department. The law department writes and oversees the legislation. So,
Brother Smith, let the record reflect that Ernest Smith is in attendance. Good to see you, Brother Smith.
I'll just slide over here. So that was the 5th point, is that the law department did not write this legislation. So you see with those 5 points, I simply could not sign off on it. Per the charter, come back in front of council. It's council's prerogative to look at it again. They can override the veto with a 4 vote, just like I stated the last time. And that's why it's here tonight. But I wanted to let you know I am in favor of the library getting this property. Much success. Director, Mr. Carlos Latimer is here, done a fantastic job. I am in favor of them getting it. I just wanted the policies and procedures to be followed exactly. That's all. I didn't want to start going down that road of not following our own policy and procedure that we put in place. And because they could not articulate what they were going to do with it, and because it's been vacant for well over 20. The council president, council vice president, and all the city council, right?
Go ahead, we're listening.
Council president, council vice president, you have special powers. I've been on city council. You can move things around and do things, right? Now, we need to keep this city moving forward, right? I'm gonna tell you a couple of stories without naming names, but the stories are important, which is why I'm asking you two in particular, and then you as a body, and residents, you can help me with this, because the city does not shut down, right? We keep meeting. When I was on council, we kept meeting, we kept passing legislation. There was a former council president who said, per the charter, we're on vacation, and refused to let council meet. We're not naming names, we're just saying what has happened in the past, which is why I'm making this special plea to city council. Right? Legislation. There were over 30 pieces of legislation that were passed, that were buried in city council by a former council president. You know, we're not naming names, we're just saying that that's what happened. So the council president can take legislation and act on it. What I'm asking is that council president, council vice president, as we get legislation, as Willa, the law director, writes legislation, we send it down and we ask that it be put somewhere that you consider it going there, and you consider acting on it and moving it forward, right? That's what we're asking. If council president, vice president said goes into this committee, then so be it. But we're asking that you look at it, right? There was a piece of legislation that was sent down to council, and it was put in a certain committee. That legislation stayed in that committee, cost the city $50,000. $50,000.
Say that again?
There was a piece of legislation that we sent down,
Right, I remember.
Right. it was put into a committee,
And they held it.
and they held it. The city lost $50,000. So I'm asking council president, council vice president, to have these kind of power. When we send it down and we ask that you put it in this committee or that committee, that you look at it and consider that. You say, no, it's going here, that's fine. But we send it down with purpose in mind, and we know much legislation can go into different committees. It's not certain what committee it has to go into. Right?
All right.
Here's what's important. 3 pieces of legislation will be coming at you here soon. 1, mention the lawyers that we have hired, right, to help us get through the ARPA funding, right? They have 29 municipalities under contract. They want to come and make a presentation to you, right? Doesn't have to be a council meeting, it can be a special council meeting. Second
When
thing,
do they want to come to war?
they want to come this week,
They're gonna came today.
okay?
Let us know. We didn't know.
Okay, we'll organize and get to you for that. The second piece, many of you missed it, there's a $4 million out of the ARPA funds that we're looking at transferring to the county land bank, which is our development partners, to help us get this new neighborhood moving forward. It's out of the ARPA funds, the lawyers will help structure how that happens. There's also $2 million to the metro parks that we're looking at providing to help revitalize Forest Hill Park and help Cleveland Metro Parks take over that park. So those are what's coming down. That's why I'm requesting that council, please don't go on recess. We got too much good stuff to do here in the city of East Cleveland, right? I'd like you all to stay engaged and help us push this city forward. Unless there's any questions or concerns,
No, I gave you the extra time to put the chair report.
thank you.
But this council has the prerogative
Right.
to call a meeting anytime they want to. And we have that 24-hour notice. But if we need to meet in July, 2 or 3 times, we need to meet in August 2 or 3 times, we will. Okay, so we're not locked into a summer recess, nothing like that. We're not locked into that. We have flexibility. Let's move on. Report to council committee, Councilwoman Corinne Stevens. Councilwoman Patricia Blow there.
If you're aware, I've been getting streets with the finance directors, development, service committee, service department, Affordable status in our streets, there has been a little bit of everybody who drives down, each would ask them each six months, what's the others, and other. And kind of drive into. They never get a lot. Certain my kindergarten years. Which to happen and then cuts to from the first whole public channels. So one of the things I thought, what is going to be done temporarily. Most of the we find so much people that we might live because we did not so mistaken. The other thing is,
Thank you, Mr. Robert. My health and safety, I'm gonna ask Chief Warden to come up and now to take care of my health. We got some legislation that is gonna be, I know you have to go.
Yeah, no, so basically what it was, and I appreciate the council working with me on this one, is basically making sure that we don't have a cap on our age. One, in the fire service and police service everywhere throughout the country, they're having a hard time hiring. And so with that being the case, if we allow us to hire persons at a higher age than what we actually are hiring at, like cities like Columbus and other cities throughout the country, then it will open up the door for us to get more opportunities to bring on skilled firefighters who already have the experience and who understand how to do the job.
Okay. We have the legislation here tonight. I haven't had any opposition. I haven't until we were opposed to it. I think we'll be fine.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
I want you to come for everybody. And thank you for coming.
Thank
you. Thank you. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we come here. The non-community contract and property.
For the life. So disappointed for the year. But my next.
Right. You can call a meeting whenever you want to. All right.
But hopefully we'll get something done. All this, I don't remember even nobody said that about. So we are council. Next. We I mean, we have different tiers, but I'm on contracts about to give somebody that kind of power with the name. It's like hiring. So when I listened to that, hopefully we get something done today for the library to actually get the property that they have too long. And the library. Last one, on love before last, it was on Zoom with some of the NAC. I mean, they felt good, but they kept bringing it. So I hope that we can just get it, move it, so they can be happy and really happy. You know, it's time for everybody to stop all this saying that what they did not do, and I know for a fact that they did everything that was supposed.
Thank you. Councilman Ernest Smith, your committee.
Madam President, like
All right.
people
my neighbor, right people of East Cleveland, I chair the Personnel and Appointments Committee. Our next meeting will be next Tuesday, June 28th. Every month is the fourth Tuesday of each month. Please join us, as I say each and every week, the meetings are very, very just as important as the regular council meeting. Thank you. So that's next Tuesday, June 28th, 6:30, right here on the court. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam, yes.
Speaking, please move to the mic a little bit. People are saying they cannot hear you online.
Oh.
We can't hear them in here.
Can you hear me? Stephanie?
Yes, that's good. Move away from the microphone. so that-
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay, Madam Clerk, let's go to legislation. Now, I'm over here, so I'm going
Hold on.
through it, over there.
You sent her a cable.
This right here. Yeah, put this.
Top of the table, please.
I don't have a cell phone with me. I'm reading it.
Something is way. Wasn't doing that before. Hold on. Something is Twilight. Could you move it up? I'll move that one. Okay. Something's interfering.
I don't have it.
There. All right. I turned all the microphones down.
Oh,
You just have to speak up.
all right.
Okay, first, is there Aaron Martin here?
Yes.
Okay. Resolution number 1722, a resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Aaron Martin under the neighbor next door ordinance, and at a cost of $100, a parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land utilization program located at 1725 or 24 Coit, East Cleveland, Ohio 44112. This is the second read.
Okay, Councilwoman Juanita Valley, resolution 1722, bears your name with your pleasure.
I was gonna first speak to everybody, say thank you and hello, and I've been waiting a long time also on property. I've been waiting over 5 years for property. But I do want to congratulate getting this far. And what I plan on doing the property on the back end of the property, which is attached to mine and another piece of property I have next door. I want to put flowers on the back end. I want to put a concrete pad on the back end, and put a concrete table for entertainment and social life in that area. And basically, I just want to liven it up for some entertainment to the neighborhood. And I'm glad I made it this far. And I hope I can continue with it so that I can put those improvements on it that I want to do. Pardon me?
Okay, she's gonna put a motion to sponsor, move. and adopt
Okay.
this. And thank you, Mr.
Oh, before you go on, there's some steps on here. I don't know how to continue it, like paying the $100. You'll tell me about that, I'm sure.
Right.
And, okay. Okay.
Sponsored by- I can hear you.
You need to speak up.
Speak up, guys. You can hear me. She's moving to sponsor resolution 1722.
Okay.
There's a second to a motion.
Councilor
Moved
Bohan.
by, I think you got it seconded by Patricia Bohoviac. Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Councilor Bohoviac. Councilor Gowdy. Councilor Stevenson. Councilor Smith.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
unanimous.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Resolution number 3722, a resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer
Tangent.
Yes. Meredith, under the neighbor next door ordinance and at a cost of $100, a parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 13408 Gainsborough, East Cleveland.
And again, I thank you all. I've been waiting ages for this. I'm saying more than 10 years to get the house torn down, to live next door. And now I'm gonna extend my neighborhood, my yard, so that my grandkids can have a safe place to entertain themselves. So I'm gonna fence it in. I'm gonna get a concrete parcel as well as add a driveway to my neighbor's side, my tenant side, so they can have a driveway on their own, so they don't have to share with me anymore. And I have picnic tables already back there, so because I've been using the yard for a good while, so. You know, I have my grandkids' bouncy houses back there. I will have a swing set and a pool and my barbecue grill. We're gonna enjoy ourselves, and I won't have to have my unruly neighbors that the police won't do anything about coming next door to me, parking their cars, riding their dirt bikes, so I'll be happy.
Thank you. I will accept the motion. Sponsor. Go ahead, sponsor.
Sponsor.
Sponsor resolution based on, okay, the move. And is there a second? Are there any questions? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Counselor Bohoviac, Counselor Gowdy, Counselor Stevenson, Counselor Smith, Counselor
I've been here
Martin,
22 years, I'm not going nowhere.
Thank you.
passes unanimously. Counselor Martin,
Yes,
Counselor
yes.
passes unanimously.
Ms. Meredith, thank you.
Thank you.
We checking on you now.
Oh, you can check on me all the time. I appreciate you all.
Take care, all right. Let's move on. Let's-
All right. Ordinance number 4022, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to transfer to the East Cleveland Public Library at no cost. Permanent parcel 672-110-04, which shall be utilized by the East Cleveland Public Library for library purposes, placed on the regular council meeting agenda for reconsideration according to section 113 of the charter. I need a motion.
I'm gonna transfer the gavel to, Mr. Smith. Okay. All right, I'll sponsor this.
No, you just gotta make the motion. Okay.
Go ahead.
I gave everything written out.
Ordinance number 40-22.
Here, I wrote out the motions. I gave, yeah, Councilman.
Okay, yeah, I'm
Those are
gonna,
the motions.
yeah, I wanted to make, if I can, okay, yeah. But I have to do this, go ahead.
Ordinance number 40-22 bears the name of council on the whole, sponsored by Councilwoman Gowdy. What is your pleasure?
What we're gonna do here, I'll make a motion. I make a motion for reconsideration, overturn the mayor's veto dated June 14th, 2022, of resolution 4022, or according to section 113. That's my motion. Okay. Okay, do I need to read again for the public? Did everybody get what I had to say? I'm making a
More for the,
motion.
listen, for the, so no controversy, because I asked, what's her pleasure? Councilwoman Gowdy, I'm sorry. Let me just do it over.
Okay. let me do it.
Okay. Ordinance number 40-22 bears the name of council on the whole, Council President Nathaniel Martin. What is your pleasure?
My pleasure to make a motion for reconsideration to overturn the mayor's veto dated June 14th, 2022, of resolution 4022, according to the section 113 of the charter.
Need a second?
Discussion.
Yeah, I just want to say that I think that I know the entire council supports this legislation and I think the other one's coming up. And it's our prerogative, we can go to the neighborhood right, we don't have to, they just make recommendations. Also, what's bothering me objectively is that we've been dealing with this for over 8 years. I did some research. back and forth for 8 years. It's time for us to get this done. I will say that neighborhood advisory committee, we listened to the recommendations. But when the last meeting we had about a week or two ago, it was not even on the agenda, even though I sent a memo about it. So we're not gonna argue and get on like that. We need to pass this in terms of the issue came up about the plans, but there are plans to do something with this, okay? We have the power to move this, is my recommendation that we do. Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
You right.
Councilwoman, Dr. Pepper,
I just like to see the concerns that the mayor expressed. I was present at a meeting of the municipal advisory. I don't remember the exact date, I think it was in 2014, but at any rate, it was quite a while ago. And we have a video recording of that meeting. All of you know I'm sitting here, and there I was sitting in the meeting. So it was in front of the neighborhood advisory committee. That there's no plan. The library board, the library administration talked about the expansion of the floor area, the expansion of the parking lot, and increased area for outside activities in that area. So I can't understand anybody saying that there's no plan. The mayor talked about the law director, but as we all know, the charter requires that the law director be approved by council. We do not have a law director who is approved by council, therefore we officially do not have a law director. The other issue is that, the mayor stated that, resolutions need to go and be approved by the law director. Well, for one thing, we don't have a law director. For another thing, that gives the administration control of what should be the political branch of government. And therefore, hopefully, it should be taken forward. We should post the constitution, that part of the charter, and overturn it on that basis. So, given which 4 objections to the mayor's veto, I think that something that the hundred. Thank you.
Mayor King.
Yeah.
I didn't see you on hand, so I apologize. Councilwoman Scott. Mayor. Thank you, Councilwoman Scott. Mayor King, thank you. Council Vice President.
We state again for the record, I am in favor of the library being part, all of these parts, right? Library does a phenomenal job of being recognized doing so. My concern, my reason for veto, I passed it out, right? As we all know, there was a reappraisal of all real estate a couple years ago, right? You look back to 2014, none of the appraisal was good. They don't last that long. It is not a submitted plan. The gentleman who spoke here in council maybe 2 months ago said they were thinking about extending the building. They were thinking about doing some outdoor activity. They were thinking about extending the parking lot. There's not a bona fide written plan, right? Will Hemmings is a recognized law director at CAB's crew. I had to make those points clear because I find it disturbing when I'm seeing someone said something that's incorrect. So I just wanted to correct those things. It is council prerogative, right? The last time we were here, I did state why I would do it, that I would do it, anticipating it coming back. And it passed. So here we are. Thank you, Council Vice President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Any other, I'm sorry, Councilwoman Scott, please.
I really want to, share with everybody, that the library has been holding on to the property such a long time. They maintain library, and they're real good over there. And to go through what they can go through, I feel that, and I apologize. And now here, to go through what they make to go through, and they just give out land, and these people out of water, you know, and for them to come and actually demonstrate me of the great work that they are doing in this great city of East Cleveland, I feel bad for y'all, you know, that y'all had to go through all these changes just to get the land that y'all was taking care of for such a long time. My heart, my prayers go out to you, and you deserve the land, and this is what you need. You deserve it, you work with, and you clean, you pour counsel, and you did what you did for the community. I mean, you thank for them. They argue back and forth on Zoom, you know, like, it's normal. It's not normal when somebody puts their heart into the city every day. So my heart goes out to each and every one of you at the library that's doing excellent work. And yes, this land belongs to you, and we hope that you continue doing the great work that you're doing. And if you see any other land out there, like I said before, just come on and bring it into the council office. We're gonna talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Scott.
Thank you.
That's my colleague. Councilwoman Kareem Stevens, please.
I just want to say that. Land bank, you can't hear you. I want to say that land bank whole situation seems to be coming apart at the seams. Because nothing seems to go as it's supposed to go according to what the charter states. The mayor states that the land has to, any land sold. No, the land that's being sold is on our land bank. The land is supposed to be identified by council for sale. That is not happening in any land, with any land since I've been here. I've been here 2.5 years. And before that, I was here for approximately 6 or 7 years before I had to leave this area and go to another area. And in that time, I have not heard this council approve any land in this city for sale. So let's get past the falsehood and be here.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Clerk, you call the roll, please.
Councilor Robert. Councilor Gowdy,
Yeah,
Councilor Stevenson,
yeah.
Councilor Smith,
Yay.
Councilor Martin,
Yay,
vetoes overridden.
okay,
Ordinance number 4122, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to transfer to the East Cleveland City, East Cleveland Public Library at no cost, permit parcel 672-110-05, which shall be utilized by the East Cleveland Public Library for library purposes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 41-22, bears the name of council on the whole. Council President, Nathaniel Martin, what is your pleasure?
my pleasure to make a motion for reconsideration to overturn the mayor's veto dated June 14, 2022 of resolution 4122 according to section 113 of the charter.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is there a second?
Second. Oh,
Seconded by Councilwoman Kareem Stevenson. There any discussion? I mean, I'm sorry. Councilwoman Juanita Dowdy. Is there any discussion?
I want to say that we feel so good about the library. We gave them land. Whatever was appraised, I think is not really that important. But the fact is that we're giving it to them. They have a 5-star rating. We feel real good about it.
Is there any other discussion? Thank you, Madam Clerk. Can you call the roll, please?
Councilor Mahovia? Yay. Councilor Gowdy?
yeah,
Councilor Stevenson?
yeah.
Councilor Smith?
Yeah.
Councilor Martin?
Yay,
Vetoes overridden.
thank you.
Ordinance number 4222. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to transfer to the East Cleveland Public Library at no cost, permanent parcel 672-110-06, which shall be utilized by the East Cleveland Public Library for library purposes.
Thank you. Ordinance number 42-22, bear the name of council on the whole, council president, next name Martin, what is your pleasure?
Is this 4322?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I make a motion for reconsideration.
I'm sorry, 42.
Okay. I didn't say that already. Oh, make a motion for reconsideration to overturn the minutes veto dated June 14, 2022 of resolution 4222 according to section 113 of the charter.
Thank you, yes, sir.
It should be 23.
Dr. Patrick.
Stevenson.
My question, we are at.
Excuse me, you are at ordinance number 42.
Yeah, we have 20, that third one. 42, that third one.
Excuse me, excuse me.
Okay, yeah, third, 42.
Ordinance number 42-22, bear the name of council on the whole, council president, next name Martin, what is your pleasure?
We on number 3?
Alright.
Okay, now to go, I read it, right?
Yeah, the motion has been seconded by Dr. Patrick.
Okay.
If there's no discussion, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Bowman, Council Gotti, Council Stevenson. Yay. Council Smith,
Yay.
Council Martin.
Yay,
Vetoes overridden unanimously.
thank you.
Ordinance number 42, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to transfer to the East Cleveland Public Library at no cost. Permanent parcel 672-11007, which shall be utilized by the East Cleveland Public Library for library purposes.
Ordinance number 43-22, bear the name of council on the whole. Council president, next name Martin, what is your pleasure?
I make a motion for reconsideration to overturn the mayor's veto dated June 14, resolution 4322 according to section 113 of the charter.
There's a second.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Corinne Stevenson, is there any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Council Bowman, Council Gotti,
Yay.
Council Stevenson,
Yay.
Council Smith,
Yay.
Council Martin.
Yay,
Veto overridden.
thank you.
Ordinance number 4422, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to transfer to the East Cleveland Public Library at no cost permanent parcel 672-11008, which shall be utilized by the East Cleveland Public Library for library purposes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 44-22, bear the name of council on the whole. Council president, next name Martin, what is your pleasure?
I make a motion for reconsideration to overturn the mayor's veto dated June 14, 2022 of resolution 44-22 according to section 113 of the charter.
Thank you, sir. There's a second.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Corinne Stevenson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Council Bowman, Council Gotti,
Yay.
Council Stevenson,
Yay.
Council Smith,
Yay.
Council Martin.
Yay,
Veto overridden.
thank you.
Thank you. I'll pass the gavel back.
Thank you.
I'll pass the gavel back to, Council President.
Thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, read 4522.
Resolution number 4522, resolution authorizing the council to identify and seek funding from various sources on behalf of the city to support the East Cleveland needs and public and community services. This resolution is declared an emergency for the health, safety, and welfare of the public.
Okay, Madam, resolution 4522 bears your name for receipts. So what is your pleasure?
I sponsor this legislation.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there discussion? Discussion on 4522, who you want to say about it?
Well, the principles behind it allow council in their approach to funding, their resources to be able to go after that money. And bring it to the right channel for operation.
Go ahead, Brother Smith.
Thank you, Mr. President. I put the paperwork, I didn't see it, backup information on this. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't in my packet. Make sure I didn't miss it. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
other stuff major was that.
That's not.
No, that's not the one. over there. Forty-five, nine, two.
This one was just for equalizer and grades, so I don't actually write that right. That might be what to do.
It's not in, right, it's not in revenue.
Right. What is your pleasure? I don't see it in my packet.
Some degree.
Right. No, I don't see it. Do you see it, President?
No, sir.
Okay.
I'd like to see this something. that is about the quality of funds. Right. If there was such a fund. Saying that in general, there is funding available in the city, in the county, in the state. And in the nation. A lot of
Are you going to get it? Well, anyone else going to, I'm not opposed to it philosophically, but I need to have something I can read, so I know what I'm doing. Go ahead, Mr.
I'm definitely not opposed to it, but, seeing that, you are a stickler to detail.
Right.
In fact, well, yeah, I just need something that's in writing, exactly, so, reference. Exactly what he had resolution number 4522 going to accomplish, what it is. That's all I just.
Well,
when I'm looking for
go
something.
ahead, I'm gonna recommend till we get something before, we're gonna move forward, we come back to do something. I'm not opposed to it, but we have a vote on this, then you have nothing to read. I would be responsible. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, go to the next piece of legislation. Please.
Ordinance 4722.
Yeah, we're gonna pause. Let's put it aside, so we get something to read. Yeah, I'll put in a motion to read down. Let's put it in.
Then rule 9.
Right.
To the end.
Okay, motion to suspend Rule 9, what is that, Tracy?
And resolution number 45.
Right, okay. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
So what is the motion?
To suspend Rule 9, move this, the board got to get in the agenda. You did that. That was.
I need a motion.
No. No. Let's move to the end of the agenda.
Yeah. Let's move to the agenda, come on. Let's go to that piece of legislation.
Ordinance 4722, ordinance in accordance with the Ohio Attorney General ruling 83-036, section 2, for a city in the meaning that RC 731.07 prohibits the granting of compensation to city official. The total payment of such increased compensation brings its official by validly enacted ordinance. The city may not pay the official compensation which he has been entitled but has not kept.
the first reading.
Okay. Did you get a letter going on with this, Tracy? Tracy? Did you have a letter going on? Could you read the letter for the record, please?
June 16, 2022, to the Ohio Ethics Commission, request for formal advisory. Here's first on November 2nd, 2021, pursuant to ordinance 1821. The electors of the city of East Cleveland approved an amendment, section 101 of the city charter, increasing the salaries of the city council. See attached to exhibit A. City of East Cleveland Council Office is asking for a formal advisory opinion regarding Ohio ethics law as it relates to Ohio Revised Code 73107. Salary shall not be changed during term of retreat. Salary of any officer of the city shall not be increased or diminished during the term for which he is elected or appointed. The effective date was 1/9/1981. East Cleveland City Council believes that two current city council members of the terms run from 1/1/20 to 12/31/23, not preclude any salaries increase. Under state, Ohio code ordinances, under corporate powers, rights, and privileges, corporate powers, number 1, name of powers, rights and parts. The city shall have all powers that now are or hereafter be granted municipalities by the Constitution and laws of Ohio. All such powers, whether expressed or implied, shall be exercised and enforced in the manner prescribed by this charter, but when not prescribed herein, such manner shall be decided by ordinance resolution of the council. See attached to the city law. Due to the way this section of the city's charter reads, East Cleveland City Council believes that the council can assert home rule authority and pass a law in contravention of Ohio Revised Code 731.07. Council asserts that council has the power to just increase the salaries of the two seated council members that are in the middle of their terms to reflect the new wages that were voted on by the electors of the city or pass legislation to this effect. The East Cleveland City Council greatly appreciate and expedited formal opinion on this request. Consider Martin, President of Council, sent to the Ohio Attorney General's Office, Ohio County Prosecutor's Office, East Cleveland Council.
Did you go over there? On Thursday, June 16, 2022, Assistant Attorney General Jeff Lozier advised me that the matter had been referred to him for action, but we were to defer to the Ohio Ethics Commission. This is from the Attorney General's office, not a bunch of talking out of ears. I have to have documents I can read. I get opinion from everybody. Okay, the city will abide with whatever the opinion shows. So for right now, we should all just be patient. What I said about this situation, we're gonna wait to get it right. I want them to get the money. I wanted to get the money in the beginning, but we got a ruling, legal ruling, you said they couldn't. Nobody up here is supposed to get the money, we're gonna do it right. Okay, so we're waiting for it to run through this process. Also, I'm gonna hear from, what I consider the law director, Willie Henderson. You want to say something in reference to this situation here?
On June 16th, the Ohio Commission, and they will release.
Thank you. And I'm not gonna do anything until I get something in writing, not opinions that I hear from anybody all the time, but something in writing. And I need to say this, let me stand up. I've been on council for almost 30 years, and I've seen a lot. I'm gonna share this with you. I got a call from Council Stevenson and Council Gowdy pressing me about moving and acting on this legislation. And I already let it be known to them that I was not opposed to it, but I said we're gonna do it right, we're not gonna run through it. Not only will they be paid, they'll be paid all the way back to January. They didn't like my response. I was called MF 4 or 5 times. Listen to me. I want you to hear this. I was called EMS, not by you, by Stevens. EMS, I was, no, I'm gonna say this. Because no, I'm gonna say it. Please be quiet. Be quiet. Okay, so listen to this. And it called me MF, she called me MF, talked about me, got personal with me. All right, personal. Okay, and I got pressed for the money, and, okay? So I was hurt by it, because all the years I've been up here, I've never been talked to them. By the men, never been talked to them. Called me MF, said I was this, said I was that, and I thought about it. I'm glad she was not in front of me. I'm glad she was not in front of me. Okay, but that happened around this, when I said that I was supporting you. But she wanted to happen. You didn't do the emergency. I said, I'm not going to do an emergency. We're not going to do it. We're going to wait through it, run through the process. That's how this works. Mr. Smith, I've never been insulted like that in my whole life. Never. But I want you to know that. Thank you. So 4722, it was the first week. Let's move on. Okay. And if you don't think I'm telling the truth, God was on the phone when it took place. Okay. God was on the phone. So I'm not lying about it. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. But but you on the phone. So let's move on. Let's move on to the future. But I need professional to hear that. Okay, all right. No, the people on it. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay.
Ordinance number 4822, an ordinance to amend section 123.07, needs 1, entrance examination and qualifications and classified service, and the codified ordinances of the city of Cleveland to allow for the hiring of all persons regardless of age and declaring an emergency.
This is 4822. All right. Okay, this is the fire situation. If I let me pass it over. All right.
Ordinance number 48-22. Bears the name of Council President, requested by the fire chief, bears sponsored by Councilman Nathan Martin. What is your pleasure?
I like to sponsor ordinance 4822 and move for its adoption.
Seconded by Councilwoman McGowan. Fair discussion.
Yes, I just want to say for the body and for the public that we had Chief Ward, our fire chief here, and she think we want to get people that's a little bit older be a part of our fire department. And they've been very strong about that. So I have no problem with that.
Thank you, Mr. President. Dr. Pat, please, Councilwoman.
Just to be specific, the current age is 35. And it's not that we're asking that they hire people who are my age or older, who haven't been here appropriate, but who are well over 35.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any other discussion? Madam Clerk, we call the roll.
It's a good thing for our older people, the age because a lot of people be jobs out here. I don't like. If I could do the job, there's more power to them because they is actually doing a good job over and have to work. Now they have to work and everything. For older people.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Council Hobart. Council Dowdy.
Yeah.
Council Stevenson. Council Smith.
Yeah.
Council Martin.
Yay.
Unanimous.
Thank you. Let's go to the next legislation, please.
Resolution 4922. Resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to do all things necessary to participate in the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Major Works Grant Program to secure up to 75% project cost for the installation, reconstruction, and or rehab of outdoor recreational facilities and/or structures, including but not limited to submitting an application and supporting documents, executing any and all agreements and or contracts as may be required by the Ohio Department of Natural Resources to secure the requested funds if awarded and declaring an emergency due to the application deadline.
Resolution 4922 bears your name. Juanita Gotti, what is your pleasure? Okay, you want to adopt and move towards adoption? Is there a second? Is there a second on resolution 4922?
I'll say.
Is there a second? Let's have this, is there any discussion on 4922? Ms. Stevenson,
What is,
go ahead.
like application? You know, we're just adopting with, what's gonna be the purpose? I guess that we would know. A grant is that we run in cities and say, okay, but this grant is talking about land acquisition. What land are we talking about? What kind of public outdoor recreation? Is this the one up there by Superior that we've been talking about? What is it for? The recreation. What it's for? It's for the recreation. They're gonna put it. Okay, because I'm thinking it's the one up there by Superior that we've been talking about. The park. That's our, we the AARP. I thought. That's not. Is it sponsored? Ask the mayor.
Yeah, that's what, Mayor,
Because I'm thinking it's the one up there by Superior.
Mayor, can you, are you not sure about this piece of legislation?
That's the one I was.
Why don't you speak to it, please? Give council some clarification.
This is this is just to apply for this grant. This grant will be used for Forest Hill Park,
Yeah.
not Superior. Superior
For the
was,
boards.
yeah, this is the one right up Forest Hill Park that we're using this one. Here is the grant. The grant is not
Okay.
completed. As you know, we have to pass legislation to apply.
So fine.
What is the,
Deadline
Mr.
is July 15th.
what is the value of the grant?
So they list how much money is up for grabs in this grant.
Well, we get that. That's
No, it
county
says
wide.
it says 2,400,000. On this page here, and this will give us 75% of whatever we're.
Only going to be allocated, what's allocated. $134,545 is what Cuyahoga County. County's piece of this 2 million, not a whole $2 million. So whatever they give us, let's take it. But
Yeah,
we
there you
need
go.
to know what it is. He said the board, you know, what?
So there are literally. This will pay 75% of it. So
Okay,
it's
okay.
tennis court, basketball court, you know,
So what we can do is, make a. You know, we need to
but when the grant is submitted, it will be in there.
in the details.
Yes.
So,
But this, we have to pass this first.
go for the grant. We need money.
Well,
She could pay for, because we could take it and we got to line the budget.
I would respectfully ask you, because. Go
No,
ahead,
so we can have.
go ahead and vote on it. If you say no, it's gonna city to
No,
stay
but
as it
we need
is,
details.
you don't wanna bring in any funding,
We
anything where. But you wanna pass legislation, council to go out and look for grants. Here we got a grant right here, you know what that,
the grant is fine. They just want more details of what you wanna do with the grant, once you get the grant. So it could be, because it's right here, it is a blank application.
So the beauty of it is, Councilman, is that once we apply, if we're successful, we're gonna come right back to the second.
And then
And if you say, hey, we don't want to, we don't want to do this, we don't want, you just say, no, this is just to apply.
Okay,
Okay.
hold it, Ms. Stevenson, you have the floor.
I understand where, yeah, but this might be reading here, that's not saying something that this says that we can live in the mayor. With the programs, so it's not coming back. Like that, I don't like this.
So, partly,
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
you know, council long enough. First legislation is to apply, second one is to accept it. All the grants come back before council to accept it. This is no exception.
But that's not what it said.
None of them say that it comes back, but they all come back. Councilor, can anybody else help me out here?
Let me recognize Mrs. Rubeck and get her. Go ahead.
Can't hear you.
Summary.
I need to go to, my feeling about this is,
So the Ohio Department of Natural Resources opened up fund certain amount of things. It's in the application what they will fund. What we would do if council said, yes, we want to go after these grant dollars, is that we would then reconvene with our engineers over the gym, and we would see what makes sense to apply for, right? So that's where we're at with this. We need your permission to even apply, and there is a listing of things they will fund. That's in your paper.
Right.
my question, hold it, I don't know, my question is, the process is to apply for the grant, that doesn't necessarily mean you will get the grant. That doesn't throw this off at all, does it?
Doesn't hurt us at all to apply.
Common sense.
All right. So you say you need for, I made a note here, summary. Summary sheet. Okay, well, well, Smith, you want to say something? All right, my thing is, we gotta get the 134,000, is that what I'm saying? Out of 2.2, finding out 2.2.
No.
Well,
County-wide.
I cannot kind of read all. All right. We have to report that. So.
It's free.
So what God, what do you plan? Is it?
I'm not talking. whatever, but it goes the opposite. If it be, only used for what or could you reverse it and use it on other things?
No, you apply for a grant. that's what you apply for.
Okay, we just, okay,
And then it's specific.
okay, yeah, if I could see a blank application, if I could see a blank application, you could not give us a little something. Just something, just for us, we ain't saying that we can't do it, so we ain't turning down no money.
Okay, so that's what I would like to do is ask council to read the parameters of the
Yeah, but we
grant.
need to
And
know
then if
that.
you have- I would like to ask council to read the parameters of the grant, and then if you have ideas of what you would like to see, give them to me, and then we can do it. It was stated earlier that a lot of times these grants come down, and you don't have but a couple days to really make a turnaround. So I think she said, Laura said it to the 15th. So we don't have a lot of time to apply, so if we're going to do it, we need to act now.
But you can give us a copy.
It's right here.
We got it. Okay, here's where we are, so we can move forward. Commissioner Blover has a point that we need to get a summary.
That's
So what is your pleasure? Do we want to, you want to say something about it? Please go ahead. All right. Go ahead. You have the floor. I would say.
Yeah.
This is legislation for us to apply for the grant. We've done several of these over the years. Once we apply for the grant, the mayor will come back, it's up to us to accept up, say yea or nay. We do not like what's in the grant. We have choices. So for example, if it's for the park, they want to put lights, we say, we need a new tennis court. We say nay to that, add in a new tennis court. In other words, we don't vote on it until it's, until this, that's how we go. So you're already, it's already,
Okay, so your recommendation, we
it's
just
already set up for it to come right. For funding to spend. Thank you.
Thank you.
The revenue authorized and directing the mayor to do all things necessary to participate.
To apply to.
Yeah, what? He's not coming back to us for anything.
If he heard the rules, he had to come back to us. Heard the rules, he had to come back.
All right, well, guys, we had an impasse here.
No, I don't think that.
Okay,
I
go
think.
go ahead.
State.
Okay, you. Wait a minute. Okay, you have the floor. Yeah. The rest of it. How do you feel about that? Right. I don't even, I think the stuff before I come here, I think it's thorough. I don't know what to get.
Us looking on TV, now we don't know what we're talking about. They give us stuff at the last minute all the time.
Well, supposedly we go after the grant, we got a week or two to have, we can always call a meeting. And then, and then, based on what Stevens is there, to go back, see that, if it doesn't meet, we can, don't pursue, it. What do you wanna do? Oh, can we amend that, go ahead and check out all. We're going to have to.
Motion to amend.
I'll tell you all things. First line, says do all things necessary.
You want that removed?
I want to do all things necessary, all budget.
Okay, you want to amend that?
I want to amend, do all things necessary,
All right,
and then we need to sum.
no, let's do that. Do all things necessary. All things necessary.
For the record, I want him to do anything legally necessary. So I'm-
So council, if we do all these necessary, are we ready to act on this? one? If
I
we-
am.
Okay, let's do, can we do that? I would accept the motion. You want some, you added to that? Are you all right with that, Mayor? All these necessary, some. I'm asking, I'm wanting to, so we work together here.
It's always council pleasure. The summary sheet should be in here, what they will.
No, what we gonna do with the.
Wait a minute. Well, I said the motion, whatever comes. Okay, what's your motion, Mr. Stevenson?
I'm gonna adopt.
You gotta make a motion for, then we move to adopt. What's your amendment, to amend?
I move. 4922, resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to participate in the Ohio Department of Natural Resources.
Okay. Does that cover you all, what you were saying about?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, is there a second to a motion? Is there a second? I'll second. Oh, you, okay, fine. Is there any discussion on the motion? Vote on the amendment. Okay.
Councilor Gotti, for the amendment.
For the amendment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Councilor Stevenson,
Yeah.
Councilor Smith,
Nay.
Councilor Martin,
Yeah.
Councilor Cahobian. Yay.
Was that-
Motion to amend to remove the 6 words that are to do all things necessary to.
Yes. It passed, okay. Now, I would accept the motion to pass resolution 49. Go ahead. Did we discuss it already? Okay, all right. That's what,
Change the first reading.
okay.
You will have to have a meeting.
Say that again, Tracy.
You have to have a meeting. We could call meeting. But it has to be 2 weeks.
So would that make you July 15th deadline?
Not less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, we got time. Okay, take the motion again. Take the motion again for the record. Board person,
So it'll have to be July 5th, but the problem is going to be when it has to be July 5th, it has to be by the 15th. Yeah, right, yeah.
let's go. All right, I correct the use of the first amendment.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the second amendment. There was a second to it,
She wanted to make it go out first.
or first read? Okay, is there a second to the motion? To amend it to the first read? Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, good second. Okay, call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Councilor Cahobian. Councilor Gotti.
Yeah.
Councilor Stevenson.
Yeah.
Councilor Smith.
Nay.
Councilor Martin.
Yeah. Okay, make a note. Okay, all right, now, do we need to go to 49, do we do? No, okay, all right. Okay, we'll be a minute. Okay, let's move on. We got one at.
Ordinance number 5022, an ordinance allowing the 2023 alternative tax collecting information be provided to the county budget commission so that the city can be eligible for a waiver of the ORC 5701.8 requirement that a political subdivision adopt the tax budget and declaring an emergency.
That's 5022. Marie Stevenson, 5022, Bears, your name is the pleasure.
I properly place the move for adoption.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a second? This is emergency.
Second.
Is there a second? Okay, one more time. All right, okay. All right, go ahead.
Any discussion?
Yeah, any discussion?
Every year, we're trying
I
to
see.
move it earlier this year, so it's not late, like we usually when we come back. Okay, so that's why we're having it at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Stevenson. Ms. Blowback, you have the floor. Ms. Blowback, you have the floor. No.
Actually, I'm part of it.
We can put it on July 5th. Hold it. Well, I'm ready to move it. You okay with it? Go ahead.
So, it's important information. Which I have not understood. I would expect that if I request information from finances, see that before finance. The meeting is only talking about this is a limited council right now. Some items about the finances of the city.
Any other discussion on 5022? Any other discussion? Hearing none, have a vote.
Council Gloria, Council Valley,
Yeah.
Council Henderson, Council Smith,
Yay.
Council Martin.
Yay. Hey,
I will go back to
4822, 45. Yeah, man, go ahead.
Thank you. So I didn't want to get too far down the road. In this document, I want to make 2 points. This document on page 7,
What document you talking about?
the document that you had, back in the section with the stewards, with the grant. It was 9 things that you can apply for.
What reservation you talking about?
The one we just saying to 15. Great, but I wanted to make you aware of this, and you can look at it right there in the document. 9 different things that you apply for. Right, I commend for sending it down, right, before she spins the wheel and doesn't get this done. The second thing is, there is a fiscal commission meeting tomorrow. The fiscal commission goes over all of the city finances and reconcile the books. They are online. Follow simple math, numbers are online, the documents are online, right? Fiscal commission meeting tomorrow, we take a deep dive into the finances, right? I would encourage all residents, all councilors, especially those who think they have schooling at in college, but still think they don't understand. You can't look up sequentially. I would encourage you to be on the call tomorrow so that you can get clarity around simple math. Thank you.
Are you saying that the fiscal commission meets tomorrow,
Fiscal commission meets tomorrow at 9 a.m. and is on Zoom.
9 a.m. in the morning?
It's on team.
Sorry. Team. Thank you for the correction. Please, those of you who want to know the finance of the city,
And you're not going to ask anything, but I'm going to thank all the people who are sitting on that board there. You know that.
sitting and listening, you get information. You get the documents, you can follow it. Documents are online. All the city's finance documents are online. You got them, you can look at them, you can follow.
We haven't gotten them on time.
They're online. You can go online and get them.
So,
Word called other that includes hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Report, resolution 4522, Maurice Stevenson, Perry, Green, and what's your pleasure?
wherever we can find, by whoever has the ability to do so. We need to be able to develop programming, community activities, and things that structure our city and bring our health and safety back.
Any other discussion on 4522?
We really need this, and this gives us an opportunity not to put so much weight on the mayor. It gives us time, like a program that we want to clean up the program like that with the judge about cleaning up the city, and we had a couple people that really want the job to clean up the city. And you know, the dumping is really terrible around here, and so we can interact with our own programs to help better our city. So I'm for this.
Any other discussion on 4522? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Councilor Cormier, Councilor Gotti,
Yeah.
Councilor Stevenson,
Yeah.
Councilor Smith,
Brother Smith?
Great.
Councilor Martin.
Yay. Okay. We're at the end of the agenda. Request of the public, 3 minutes. Please, that leaves you 3 minutes. Request of the public, 3 minutes. You can speak.
Good afternoon. My name is Gerald Silvera, 2203 Lee Boulevard. Coming before you as Vice President of the Board of Trustees of the East Houston Public Library. And want to express our sincere gratitude for City Council taking the action to override the mayor's veto. We've already started a process of reaching out to the community with a survey that is passed out at our events, and it's online on the website to get feedback from the community about some of the things they would like to see in the development that we plan on doing with the properties. We also are fully committed to being transparent, and we will keep the city and administration, council and administration apprised of our process as we go forward in this endeavor. And again, we thank you with all our sincere appreciation.
Thank you. John Jones.
Yes, Lakefront
Okay,
Avenue.
hold on a second, John. Okay, go ahead. What is their feedback? That one. Thank you.
Okay.
Who was that? Okay. Oh, okay, go ahead. John.
I wanted to ask about the safety plan for the city. I've been asking since last month. And I believe you, Council President, were going to meet with others. And I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Oh, the mayor. Okay, I thought you were. Okay. Second,
Go ahead.
okay. Um, Okay,
Go ahead.
so the second is the contracts for construction.
Okay, that goes on.
Okay. So I think council needs to be knowledgeable about everything that's happening in this building. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 50. And last, I wanted to ask about the letter going out to Dollar General so that they could secure personnel in their store to make it safer for the employees, for people in the store, and to deter shoplifting and theft. Somebody was supposed to be,
I plan on, glad you brought that up.
okay,
I'm gonna go by there myself personally, to talk with the manager. So what the thing is about the community, about the aisles when I'm in there and it.
I understand that, but we need something in writing so that she can give to her.
I think to get something. If you try to do it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. He won't, that person won't be there. No. Manager will be there. You have to get hired up. You know, because I used to off. You wanna go with me, man? Okay, we go together. Okay. You wanna do that? Well, we can do together. Okay. I'm sorry, young lady. Go ahead. What's your name?
Wanda Jacobs,
Wanda what?
Jacobs,
Okay. I'm-
1477 East 134th Street. I have two questions, maybe three. First one, this is for the mayor and members of city council. I like to find out where y'all stand on the CDC. Are y'all with NOAA or y'all with NOAA? We'd like to know that.
Your question, Ms. Jacobson, you see
Mhm.
how we would know, what do you mean?
I mean, the residents are NOAA. And
Some of the residents, not all the residents.
not all of them, but I say the majority of them are. And we wish that NOAA is the CDC. We don't want Nemo because we don't want more liquor stores in our neighborhood. We don't want a credit union. We don't have no money to put in it.
All right.
So we want to go with NOAA, and we like to know where y'all
You
stand
wanna
on
know,
that.
Ms. Jacobson, all of you respond to that.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Thank you, good question. Okay, that, and I've been hearing a lot about Nemo's and the liquor store and all
Mhm.
that. over there. Okay, thank you, we will respond.
Okay.
The mayor will respond too. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Second question. What happened to the quality of life line item on the budget?
What do you mean by quality of life?
Quality of life line item. We used to get money for the groups to do things in the neighborhood. What happened to that?
Well, I will respond. We all will respond. to that. The mayor
Okay.
will respond.
Okay, my third one. I think the ones that don't, the council members that don't have their money, they should get it. and without holding it up, give it to them. It's only fair.
I think you're gonna get it. Let me be honest with you. But you got to do the right way.
Mhm.
You got legal opinions, we are ready to you. Once you go through that, I welcome you. Okay, especially what I would talk to, that make me motivate me even more to want to get it, okay?
I have a, okay, can I
Go ahead.
ask you, how can some get it and some don't?
Because we got reelected. Okay, the caveat is we got reelected. Okay, and that allowed us to get it. And we got legal opinion that said that those who didn't have to wait. Now we read some other stuff that says a little different, so we'll work it out. If they'll get it, I would say before the end of the year, okay? All right,
Last,
go ahead.
that performance, you should have kept that personal between
No,
you
no,
and
I
her.
think-
That was unprofessional. Yeah, but it was unprofessional in here.
I'm not through with it.
All right.
Good evening, everyone, Mayor, Council. My name is Shirley Hatcher and I live at 13408 Shaw Avenue. And I'm a proud resident of East Cleveland. I just have some comments. But the one thing that I can start off with, you're never wrong when you do the right thing.
Okay.
My question to the mayor, do you feel that the resident groups have served their purpose? We don't feel that we have. You have not served transparency for most of the residents. Some of my neighbors said that you ghost us. Ghost us. Yes, you'll learn that soon. Can't get a hold of you, just up and just. Got it? You have not praised the work of the residents who work to solve our citywide issues in the past or previous months. Remember using my comments and some of the other residents. Want to make a comment on Mr. Smedley, who spoke very highly of this organization or developers that coming in, he called Christians. He spent 2 to 3 minutes talking about what kind of people they were. But not one time did he mention any of the work that the groups, neighborhood groups that have done the work to make the city run better. He didn't spend 2 or 3 minutes to encourage us and give us credit, where in the past that we gave all y'all credit when the credit was due. I suppose we're not as important. I suppose we're not as important as we thought we were in making the changes in our beautiful city. We are not included in the future plans from the council and administration, who promise to meet and share your ideas with us so that we can help and develop the process of our city. Since we voted all y'all for your seats now that you're holding, where do you get off leaving us out? You work for us, our votes, our voice, our demands, your loyalty, your honesty, and your trust. Yes, we're angry, but we're also loving, respecting people that want to continue to do the work. Your seats are held as long as we feel you deserve it. What you are, help me, Father God, because I know you're in here. What are you all going to do forward? What are you going to do? I hope you're hearing me, because we're angry and frustrated and in need of big changes in the way that you have been treating and ghosting our community. Let us come together as one East Cleveland. So please hear me. We need you guys to work together here, and you need to be transparent and work with us neighborhood groups that are out here making a difference. We want what we want, and you should do the work of what we want. And that's why we're going to start filling these seats in to make sure that you carry through on our wishes. It isn't a private thing that you can just have well, I'm gonna do this now, I'm mayor, that I'm president of the council. It is for us people. Hear me clearly. We want peace and love and understanding and come together. That's all. Because the bickering and stuff that we've seen in the past years and stuff, we've seen a little bit tonight. And Mr. President, you need to calm down. Okay, you need to calm down. I stand, I rise and I speak. But you need to calm down because you are a force to deal with. You don't need to get any louder. You don't need to tell some things that you tell. We know, but we love all of y'all. We love for y'all to get along and respect one another and help us. Let us in on where the city is going. Have more time on all meetings, Mayor. We're disappointed. I've known you for a long time. And Michael, we work together. Mr. Smith, step up some more too. All of you guys, we want to know y'all one-on-one, get together. Let's have some more meetings. Y'all going on vacation for what? You've been on vacation for 2 years. Now you know what it sounds like, right? Okay, made my point. So please, please, ladies and gentlemen, let's work together and solve this thing. Nobody is better than any other because we can all learn from each other. And we want to learn from you. And the more y'all read about the charter, the more you can teach us to understand so that we can help with the laws and the situations of our city. Because we know what we wanted to go further. Thank you.
I would like for you to look at what I'm wearing, Juneteenth. Do you know what it means to be part of what I'm wearing here? What our ancestors went through. And I experienced some of that tonight in listening to you as you spoke and as we different. We have a right to differ without being disagreeable. Now, have said that, I just want you to cogitate on what I said in reference to this. Why do we still have to go through this with our own people? It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. Secondly, I want to thank this council for doing your job tonight to override the mayor's veto. I felicitate you. Standing up and override the veto tonight. I thank you for that. It was unanimous. So we will move forward. I just want to hear it coming from one of the board members that we appreciate what you did tonight. And we will, in the future, show our appreciation. Secondly, I want you to be cognizant of legislation that is written in your preamble. It says, and the charter says, are not omays, the charter says, one subject matter and clearly stated. Now, and I appreciate one of the councilmen's correcting something here. It is so discombobulated. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know who authored, but they do not know how, and I have said this time and time again in writing legislation. It must be clearly stated. It should say authorize the mayor to go out for not bids. I think it was authorizing to go out for a grant. It should have been written from that perspective, and all this other stuff is not necessary. It's just wording. But the charter, but apparently you don't read the charter, because charter says it must be one subject matter and clearly stated. This is totally discombobulated. And I think one of the councilmen, I won't call no names, and the charter says that too. You don't call names here. So that's why I told you to calm down, just cool it. You don't do that. And you, no council sitting here, I don't care whether you're president, vice president, secretary, or mayor, or whomever, don't have any more authority than anyone else sitting here. All of you have the same authority. President is preside over the meeting. See, that's a quorum. That doesn't give him, he has to take orders from the council. That's what the charter says. You don't mark what I'm saying. They dictate to, you're not you dictating to them. I'm just saying the president. That's what the charter says. And I can read it to you. And I've showed it to some people. But I just want you to cogitate for a moment with me. Going back to this, what we went through to be where you're sitting today, appreciate it and show, to build on it where others can emulate. What our foreparents went through, some was killed, some was beaten, some was hung, some was shot. And you have the opportunity to speak well and to do well in the city of East Cleveland. It does not speak well for those that have passed on, that fought hard. And I'm sure some of them will turn over in their graves saying, this is what I put my life on the line for. We need to work together. You're not here to love each other. You're here to do a job that we elected you to do. And you should want to hear from the residents what they have to say, because you serve at the behest of the residents of the city. So let the record reflect that Omaze has spoken. And again, I felicitate you on your stand tonight. And I'm going to call names. Mr. Smith, thank you for your vote tonight. Councilman Gowdy, thank you for your vote tonight. Councilman Mudd, thank you for your vote tonight. Council Rehoboyak, thank you for your vote. Council Stevenson, thank you for your vote and your bravery, and to stand steadfast and collectively. That speaks well for you. So let the record.
Give God the glory. That was great. Anyway, I thank you all too. Something inspired me. You know, he was talking about Juneteenth, and I have a event coming up called Black Love Unity Faith Mission Empowerment Week from July 9th to July 16th. Black Love Unity Faith Mission Empowerment Week. I should have some flyers next week, God willing. And, you know, actually reflecting on what everybody's saying, one thing that I can say is that we had powerful leaders pretty much, but due to the martyr of our powerful leaders, a lot of leaders haven't stepped up. And I mean, not to extent that they have. And one thing is getting over fear because it's so much happening. And I think that once we get over that fear, then a lot of things, what my program stands for is like a move, is based on the movement to establish more trust. And I want to add respect, love, unity, prosperity, greater health, and leadership in the Black and international community. And be promoting self-defense and reestablishment of culture. And it starts with our children. Well, we're actually the people that are older really have to reach out to the children. And when these children become born, we have to build leadership based on these elements. And then we don't have to worry about people not being transparent and all that because it should be already instilled in them from day one. So that's my goal for the community and our future. So I hope that that inspires you because one thing I learned over time, I mean, it's a shame that some children are thieves. It's a shame that people do not like to receive receipts or even give receipts when it comes to a transaction. I think that should be something that is kind of mandatory to some degree. And we, you know, of course, you know, there's this unity, and a lot of it is because we're kind of becoming part of the melting pot. And I think if we can strengthen not only Blood of the Nation, but, you know, considering what Mo Mays was saying, we in a position, a lot of us, this city is in position to, you know, build on the fact that we have some control over government to an extent. Of course, we don't have full control, but we have some control over government right now, and we don't want to lose it. And because, of course, you know, there's been cities that have been bombed because they didn't want African Americans to have any kind of government position. So if we can do it honestly and in order, and then raise our children from day one to do the same, or even better than the previous generation, then I think we'll be all right.
He was next.
Mr. Irby. I don't hear you. Let's go to Twan. We'll come back to you.
I just have one question. The hell?
All right, go Twan.
I just want to have one question. I just wanted to know, it's kind of confusing that, I wanted to know is Willa our law director or not? That's, I've been kind of confused about that for quite some time. And the past council people I've been reaching out to, and I'd asked them, has she followed appropriately the charter? And I have an issue with that because if it ain't that she's the law director and she's filing charges against people and sending people to prison, and charges is being filed against and all sorts of things that she's signing her name to, that's a major problem, you know? And if she's not the law director of this city, that is something that we need to really stop. And if she's going to be the law director, it need to be done properly. From what I understand, if she's going to be brung in through the mayor, she's supposed to be brung in through council. From what I understand of the charter, she's supposed to be a resident of East Cleveland, and she's supposed to have liability insurance. Now, and then also be a full-time employee. Now, if she don't have liability insurance, she's supposed to let you guys know that she don't have liability insurance. And if she don't have liability insurance and she working as a contractor and she did not let you guys know as counsel, that's a major violation on her. So I have an issue with that because I don't want to see nobody innocent going to prison, you know, and we already got a lot of people going in and out of prison for crimes that they did not do. Not unless to have some foolishness going on like that. So, Councilman Martin, you've been here the longest, so I ain't gonna put you out there like that to ask that question, but I think that that's something that need to be looked at. If she is in fact the law director or not. And like I said, if she's not, then it need to be done properly. And then I think a lot of things need to be kind of looked at, you know, overturned, because if some people got these criminal records that wasn't supposed to get these records and charges filed against them, then that could be a major, you know what I'm saying, a collateral impact to the city. You know, if they find out that she's not the legal law director of the city. So I just want you to bring up your awareness of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Wanda. Let's go to the mayor.
Good evening, council.
Irby, are you ready?
I'm ready. Good evening, council. Kelvin Irby, 14802 Elm Avenue.
Go ahead, sir.
I would like to say that understanding what is written is said it shall be. If it is written for council to receive a raise, no one should be sitting up there without what is supposed to be entitled to them. It's a shame that to play with somebody's money when they've earned it. That's one. That's a very disrespectful thing to do. Second, when East Cleveland's officers tear up private property or damage or cause damage, it should be responsible for it. The city is supposed to be insured for damages. It is disrespectful to watch all the damages that these squad cars do. It is disrespectful that we're buying squad cars and ambulances, and it's definitely needed, but it's one thing to just keep tearing them up. It's definitely a disrespect for those who have a situation and no one shows up. Second, these landscapers that are cutting the lots are doing the same thing they've done years before, half cutting a lot. East Cleveland Civic Center, one side is cut and it's not cut correctly. It's halfway done. I asked that the mayor find out who did this mess, fix it, please. Understanding that these huge bushes and limbs is a security risk, and would like that addressed. Thank you, council, and have a good evening.
Thank you. Mayor Brandon King.
Hello?
Okay, Ms. Fitzpatrick,
Yes, can you hear me?
I'm going to ask the mayor to give you a, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Yes, I have two concerns. Number one, it's sad to pathetic that the people who are watching on Zoom cannot hear clearly. Sometimes we can hear, sometimes we can't, and we're constantly asking Tracy to correct whatever. There needs to be money somewhere for audio system in that courtroom when you guys do council meetings. Half the stuff we couldn't hear tonight, especially when Juanita or Pat speak. We really can't hear them. We can hear Martin real good, we can hear Tracy, and we can hear the citizens. But some of the others we cannot hear, and I believe it's some important information that's been given out. Number two, are there citations given out for people who don't cut their grass? I see apartment buildings, especially on Superior and Euclid, their grass is high. We have businesses that don't cut their grass, and some of them that want people to rent their properties They're not cutting their grass, and I think they all should be responsible. That just adds to East Cleveland looking raggedy, all these properties that their grass needs to be cut. And that's it.
Thank you, Shirley. Thank you very much. Mayor Randy King, you have the floor now. All right, top. First, I'd like to congratulate Carlos Gonzalez.
Hello? He said cut him off. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, go ahead and then you have the floor.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, how's everyone? This is Mrs. King.
Go ahead.
Hey, family, how's everyone? I hope all is well. I just wanted to say that we didn't get to hear, like she said, we've been on the meeting, but we haven't been able to understand a lot of things. So just we have just one concern, and that's about the NAC. The NAC has been not showing up for the meetings for concerning property. So we just trying to figure out, do you have a resolution for how we're gonna get things resolved with the NAC? And secondly, we just want to say congratulations to all the great things that you all have accomplished, and congratulations to the street signing that you're doing on Saturday. And we're sorry we won't be able to be there because we'll be out of town. And that was pretty much it.
Thank you, Randy King. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, Mayor Randy King, you have the floor.
So what's going on with the NAC?
Well, we'll respond. The council has to respond that this, hold on for a few minutes. After the mayor remark, we'll go to the council. I don't see anybody else. Okay, Mayor Brandon, you have the floor.
Thank you, Council President. Congratulate Ivory Tour. Forward, many great things, great work that's done over there. Council President, I feel your pain. You said story.
Yeah.
You're telling how you're in support of something. No one hears that you're in support of it.
You hear what they want to hear.
Hear beyond their own immediate wants, right? So they have to say, I'm also in support. That's following the proper procedure in order to effectuate that. Over some of these others, not sure about the NAC, they usually show up. My understanding is they've been having Zoom meetings. I'll have to ask. That I don't know. I am glad that the resident brought up the grass cutting. We have been sending fire marshal out, the building and houses to go after, get on some of the property owners and landlords. I noticed, this morning, the funeral home is cutting that grass. Have to look into the audio, get it fine tuned, and not actually finish setting up this thing. Bill Hemmings is the recognized law director for the city. Has been so since I've been on city council. Challenging, kind of tumultuous when you have not true, but that's unjustified. And really puts the city in that. Right? As the young man alluded to, that puts the city in a dangerous position. Right? Willa Hemmings is the recognized law director for the city of East Cleveland. Willa Hemmons is the recognized law director for the city of East Cleveland. Congratulate the library on the properties. I was always in favor of it, just wanted it to go correctly, follow the policy and procedure. Ms. Patrick. Anita. Wanda Jacobs. But I apologize for, I'm not sure the definition of ghost, but I took it personally. I'm not, but I took it personally because we started the neighborhood groups. We started the neighborhood groups. We spent a considerable amount of time in those early years developing the neighborhood groups, walking your neighborhoods to identify your quality of life, right? We put money aside for the neighborhood group. I apologize that I haven't been as present as I've been, or my staff hasn't been as present as we've been in previous years. We have not forgotten about you. The neighborhood groups are still near and dear to my heart. We started, right? We're still there. I apologize if you feel like we kind of, but the work still continues. We still been working, and I hope we can see progress throughout the city. I hope that you remember my first year, finishing the last term. We talked about the new neighborhood. We talked about the new neighborhood and the need to bring in residents, right? With jobs, income producing residents. We talked about that our first year. We talked about the metro parks, right? We are there. So I apologize. We're gonna get back to the neighborhood groups. COVID has kind of hurt us too. We have not forgotten about you or your quality of life issues. And we are here to service you, right? I also invite you to set up a meeting, right? Set up a meeting, come into my office, and we'll come to you, to your neighborhood group. There's things you need to hear. Because it sounds like there's been some misinformation, it's a misdirection regarding the BDB building, right? And I love it when I hear that word transparency, right? Because the people always using it, people can get you no documents. I give you all the documents. I've always stated that, I'll always give them to you, right? I have no reason to lie or mislead you. We've tried to meet. I want to meet with your neighborhood group, so that we can clear up any of this that you may have out there that you're thinking.
Well, you can clear it up for me right now. Let me know when you stay.
So I missed the first part of the direct in regards to. No, so so listen.
Yes.
You remember, I am Noah, right? I was doing work in Noah before the elected officials. I was going down to the church at Case doing it Noah. I put in work like you wouldn't believe. Noah, and the firemen walking up and down the street identifying vacant and abandoned property. I drove the bus from Windermere to Youngstown 2 days in a row for training with Noah. I put in a lot of work with Noah. I'm the one that when I became mayor, took Noah around to the philanthropic community seeking funding for it to become a CDC. I did that, right?
Well, are you
Now,
behind us? That's all
I
I want to know.
am still a member of Noah, right? I'm still a member of Noah. You need it now?
Yeah. I can't get it.
Just gave you one. I'm still a member of Noah, right? I'm still a member of Noah. I hope that is, and I'll be available afterwards if you want more clarity or deeper explanation on anything I say. Right?
I just felt that working as a volunteer for years, we've been residents first, and volunteers for many, many years. You finally get a blessed location
that where we can have all our community meetings, all our community plans, all the things under one roof, that we can do that. And you didn't support us on that. I don't know if there's a person with the director, but we are the people. We represent neighborhoods and North, but we're residents first.
Yeah, so.
So I wish you would have supported us. We didn't get that vote. We want to better all of them.
I'm gonna lie. You're going to allow them to respond.
I respect that.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like to do, have a neighborhood group meeting, come into my office, sit down with the staff, go over a lot of this, right? Put it in application. Why? The building itself is over $500,000. The renovations are over $2 million. We looked at City Hall, right? As much as I support Noah, where they gonna get that kind of money? Noah don't have that kind of money. This is not building, and they will come. If he don't have that kind of money, they have the money. They produced all the documents, right? They gave the documents to the selection committee. They were vetted twice. From my understanding, they were vetted twice. They gave all the documents, right? There were 4 applications. 2 people didn't have no money. The other person wanted to put a grocery store and some low-income housing. BDV was the one that was selected. We didn't have anything to do with this. Right? We supported them because they have the money to do it. We met with Jobs Ohio for a call center and for a credit union. Anyone who knows about banking, who knows about financial institutions, knows the city needs a financial institution. The credit unions are more favorable to low-income neighborhoods than banks, right? That's why the banks left. We had 4 banks at one time, right? US Bank left in the middle of the night,
Right.
right? Key Bank, they were at least enough to say, hey, we're pulling out of here. It's not enough money, right? So I support Noah. I still am Noah. Noah could not afford that building, right? I would love for you to come in and hear the story from the chief of staff who worked closely with this. Council President, I hope that clarifies that.
I do. No time. You had your chance. Okay, Tony. Okay, we're going, everybody, okay, well, what would you put? What is the question? Yeah, you can. See,
So I definitely. Provide safe, yes, the fire, the hospital, right? Provide crime prevention, neighborhood police. It's all there, but I would ask Council President, do over health and safety, right? Have a health and safety meeting. I'll have chief of police.
I got one coming up.
Fire there, and ask all these questions.
Right. Well, John, when is my health and safety coming up? Next Tuesday. 5:30. Make a note of that. Okay, I'll have both the police chief, fire chief.
And that's comparable to my previous.
I don't know what we were playing is like. Oh, well, no, I'll do what I can.
You know, like a shelter, if something happens and everyone is displaced, there's shelter. Those medical supplies, that's.
We'll discuss all that. We'll cover most of it. We're gonna cover it all. Okay.
My second
Minimal.
question was
Okay, all right. Okay,
the contract discussion.
you wanna respond to that?
I'm not sure what this question.
What do you mean by content?
What are you asking me exactly?
Do we have?
She talked about the contracts and doing the work in the field.
Yeah. do our contract.
So,
So I said this before, I say it again, please. See me in the mall, right? You see me in the grocery store, if you want a public record request, fill out a form, make your public record request, get all of that. Please don't see me in the grocery store, I beg you. Don't verbally give me a public record request. Please, I've said that. It's a public record. They're all public records, right? You put in a public records request, they have no choice but to fill it, right? Please, don't see me in the grocery store and ask me for public records. Please, don't, please, fill out a public record, fill out a request, a written request. Go to the manager. In the, fill it out there, if you any public records. Please, don't ask me. What on?
What are you saying, John?
The financial fiscal meeting that's tomorrow.
Right.
We're not getting any copies or asking questions at that meeting. So is it possible to give council a copy of the art report for all expenditures made to date? I asked Charles, I called and I left a message on his voicemail 2 weeks ago, I never got a call back. And when I asked you at the last meeting, you said it's on the website.
Best thing to do is to make a public record request. Everything through here, city government is on the public record, right? So if I could take 2 more minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
The other document,
Going back and forth.
the other document that I passed out earlier was the lawsuit that was filed against me, the administration, for public record of the coronavirus fund. The same document we provided to city council and to the former president 7 times. We gave her the same document 7 times and kept saying that the information is online because you gotta report it to the Office of Budget and Management. The ARPA funds have been reported maybe 2 months ago, right? You can get it, it's a public document. I was sued, and the only person to make money was the lawyer that sued me. The city now owes him $8,000 for a document we gave 7 times. The same document. What happened to the money? What happened to the money? When you accepted the money, it says you have to report it. We reported it on the portal, right? We put it up there, right? Sued, and now we owe a lawyer $8,000 for a document we gave you 7 times. Document that's online. So if you're asking for the ARPA funds, right? You have to wait a couple months, another reporting period. Everything we did, we'll have to report. There's premium pay, there's the coronavirus vaccination pay, things like that that have been reported. There's been, I think, 1 reporting session so far. That information is online. I hope that answers.
Yeah, we're gonna move forward. Corinne, you have the floor. On the council.
I have the floor.
Well, you have the floor.
Online way.
Use your
You tell
remarks.
the people that this stuff is online where? You are supposed to, in a meeting, last year, you agreed to give us reports for expenses. In the last 6 months, we have received 1 report, Mayor King. 1. We have not received all the other reports, and they are not online, so stop telling people that. The only report financially that is online is the monthly report. That report is not a compilation of what you told us you were going to give us. And you consistently sit here and make innuendo and speak about me as though I'm not here, but I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. I don't talk to you in that manner. What I speak to you about are things that need to happen. And right now I have a list of things that need to happen. Number 1, I asked for an appraiser to be hired by the city so that the land that we sell is sold at market value at a market rate. I've observed the grass cutting situation in Ward 4. They are leaving grass in the street. The grass in the street, when it rains, then it goes into the drain. And so our drains are clogged up and our houses are deteriorating because they are backed up from sewer. waste and other things that come before you, Mayor King, that you're supposed to handle. I asked that the vehicle that was damaged or any vehicles that were damaged be repaired. It is an embarrassment to drive down the street and see a city vehicle with a city emblem and the vehicle is in total disrepair like somebody took a hammer to it. If you don't want to pay, if you don't want to have insurance, you have to be responsible for the damage. That's just how it goes. The NAC group. I have been in this city for 20 some odd years. And when the NAC groups were established, there were members in Ward 4 and still are that are not members of the group, do not receive anything from those groups, and are not allowed to be members of the group, apparently, because we can't get any information. And after so many years, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to keep discussing it. I would also like for this council to do what they're supposed to do. In between, a roundabout, and no pun intended. But have doing what you're supposed to do. There are things that we are supposed to do that are not getting done. We can sit here all night and blame the mayor, but whatever the mayor is doing, the council is responsible for. I close.
Thank you. Patricia Blowiak?
Thank you. I will move closer to the microphone because people have been saying they haven't been able to hear me. I have been circulating to various people this information regarding our upcoming primary election on August 2nd. The voter registration deadline for that primary is July 5th. This should be on the council section of the website. And I have been sending it out in one of these places. I will send it in. I've also printed some up. One of the things that the city would benefit from, and I've said this before, I've had other people, is people working together. Now, from my point of view, that is a lot of things, but I want to start off by saying one of the compliments I received during the early voting section of the last election was that people count on me for transparency. And one of the ways I try to do that is by attending meetings. I attend local meetings, regional meetings, statewide meetings, national meetings. If you invite me, I will try to be there. I've been to library meetings, I've been to NOAA meetings, I've been to other neighborhood association meetings, and do try to let me know if I hear far enough advance, I will do my best to be there. I have made most of the fiscal oversight commission meetings. For this one, we have less than 24 hours notice, and that is technically not legal according to the Sunshine System. So that information should come to us at least 24 hours in advance. Regarding the question of contracts for construction, one of my special concerns was construction for this general area, not just of the fire, has been the condition of the fire department. And after discussing that with people, I have requested copies of all bids, contracts, drawings, permits, payments for work done, and certificates of completion for all the work done on the East Cleveland fire stations over the last 5 years. My first request for that was 21 days ago, and I do expect to obtain that information. I think it's important that we figure out why the fire stations are in such poor condition, why our firefighters who do extremely important work for us are not being treated with respect. It's bad enough that we don't pay them a reasonable wage. I would love to see that increase. But certainly there are a lot of things to discuss. And regarding those contracts, we should have copies of all contracts in the council office. That's my understanding is not. Required. Contracts with discussed with one thing the doctors. He said he was using something. Since he had all the meetings. The rest of the a lot of people have had trouble with the Zoom meetings. The Teams meetings. And I would like to see this. Teams meetings. Because they're using the conference room. And moving ourselves to using Zoom. Or some other platform out there. My knowledge, Zoom meetings generally. Teams meetings. Since I have this issue. That someone here wants a resolution. Sent to the law department. Here, and or we give it to the mayor's office. And we don't do it further. But to me, this is. It does not sound like we are being treated as an equal branch of government. And it's important that it be seen that we are an equal branch of government. Judicial system. Is seen as an equal branch of we need to be treated that way of the administration. So it's full access to all information. Certain as we are money going to the owners of the liquor store. The mayor just said they have plenty of money. All this money. Stimulus funds. And why? For the home, approximately $100,000. Building that we're trying to achieve. Summary of this makes it sound like there's no problem. But I don't know that. Someone who logically has plenty of money, but we shouldn't stimulus funds. Not in a meaningful way. Community. Seems to be lots of people. There are a lot of things that we need to work on. Certainly do not hold. If you come to shower too often.
Thank you.
Bernie Smith. Thank you.
Great. Clerk, great deputy, deputy clerk. Most important, thank members of the administration. Most importantly, I want to thank you all, our neighbors, great people of East Cleveland for attending tonight to check on your health and your rights and needs. I'll be real quick, I know it's real late. I'll be real brief. Took down a couple of notes. Council fund, the council payments. As stated here before, I believe everyone is in agreement that, we wish everyone can get it across the board. I think it's really unfair the way, Councilman Martin is actually being blamed for this, like he's just holding up the fund, so, I hope that this situation will be rectified very, very near, because again, when you brought it to the table, Councilman Martin, the reason I agree with it is because, was for the future, thinking of the future, and, our two council are people that didn't get it, they are the future. They're gonna be here in the present, and we are, part of the future. Me personally, I'm scared to break any group. Show me something from the proper people, as the email was stated, and I have no problem with it. Juneteenth, I want to, first of all, congratulations to the East Cleveland Library on getting the 5 parcels. Speaking of Juneteenth, I want to thank the library for a weekend of Juneteenth events. As you may or may not know, and that's on us, or me specific, to get the word out better. We just had the 4th annual Juneteenth flag raising, which this is the only city that I know of that has the flag raised all year round in recognition of Juneteenth. So, yeah. So again, I put that on me for those of you who didn't know, we will do a better job of getting that word out. My great resident, Ms. Hatch. I'm not gonna go into it was discussed about the CEC and law and all that. I don't have anything to do with that. I'm just gonna talk about the statement that was made to me, the due ward statement. I just had a Ward 3 meeting the other day. Pre-COVID, I was the only one that had ward meetings twice a month, and I don't even want to do that. It was only one person that was coming without me having to call them. I think you all know how I am, so I'm going to reverse it back to you all. You say you want a free clothing store, we have one. I don't get any help. We have a free school supply program, free coat program. Every Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, holiday, we do something on behalf of the people. Last summer, we did something for the community every Sunday. This year, we'll be doing it every Thursday. I ask for you all help. We short staffed a lot of times Tracy is just by herself. I walk around and put the flyers on my door. I'm almost 50 years old now. And I'm walking around the community trying to save, just to save a little bit of money, because I know stamps and all that cost. So I go to people who I think can get the word out, and as you know, you always get a flyer on the door. I was not gonna have Ward 3 meetings during COVID because I didn't want to put you all and my family at risk. So I do take that, you know, some people say you shouldn't take this job personal, but I think you should, because I live here and I care about the city and you all personally. I've been community organized for 14 years. I'm the youngest one up here, and the only reason I'm up here because I saw people sitting around not doing anything. So we might not get along all the time, but I can say each member of this council is outside. What I call outside on the concrete with the people. Every member of this council. I can't say that. So the neighborhood groups, you know, I try to stay away from the beginning, but I think a lot of people know that I humbly called Mr. Mayor on the 135th to start those block clubs, which he turned them into neighborhood groups, which was awesome. Yes, there is funding allocated for the block club. That's our job, is to allocate the funds. Any other thing you see us, well, I'm gonna speak for myself. Anything else you see me doing, that's kind of like extra. That's out of the love for the people. The administration responsibility is the grass, trees, the streets, the potholes, all that. We take those calls because we care. Some people don't like it when we try to send them to the correct people. We can't help that. I at least try to, and you all know this, I at least try to come up with a solution before I even call the administration. But the administration is responsible for that. So yeah, I also took that to heart, but I know it's from a great place. And no, I don't call with reminders of the meeting, because I figure you all care nothing when I tell you that the first and third Wednesday. So the first and third Wednesday in the month, right here. And we're gonna start, I'm on the corners of these dangerous streets. I have those meetings. I'm the one that put tents out on the corners when those young boys shoot. Me, risking my life. So it's a lot of residents who I care too much to even go back and forth with. I couldn't get out of here without making that statement. So yeah, I'm glad to here. I think that you get around. I want to talk to you about doing some things for the youth. I know you got some beautiful things going on. I cannot help it. Again, we have things set up, community events set up every Thursday this year. Starting on the 30th, will be at the parking lot at the Shaw Stadium again. We had the gang truck, the bouncy houses, free haircuts, free clothes, characters, free food for the community. And I need help so we can make it even bigger. But I just love it. I need help. Help me help you. You know, help me help you, sir. Help me the needs of the community. In the words of Ms. Walcott, if we all sit up here, he in a high, then there's something wrong. And I also beg of you these meetings are recorded. I've been telling you for 4 years. You can look on YouTube and see exactly what is going on. So because you might step in the meeting and see some tension. I guarantee most of you don't even know where it's from. But if you kept up with the meetings, you will know exactly what's going on. Thank you, Mr. President. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart, especially for staying here for this long. Because it was there for 2-3 hours. Thank you all, Mr. President.
they not, first, and that's a good process, but if they not doing their job and they not, responding to you the way you need to be responding, come to council and you, work the land out for which you are looking. And far as, the potholes, people complaining about their cars is getting tore up, and we know we got potholes all over the city, but ours is really bad, so. I just asked the mayor, like, get the services out there, Antonio. Okay, thank you. 30 seconds.
Pothole system. Pothole fillers. Come back to the city to help us have better hold of these problems. Challenge is, you can't find work. That's why it's taking so long. He said mid-June. Mid-June. He's still trying to get work. We are.
Night over.
Yes.
Okay, so, the backhoe filling is supposed to be coming, but we need something to help maintain. We gotta rent some. So, the next thing that the people was concerned about the high grass, you know, in asking that the mayor get the services to help cut down these high grass. Because they are complaining, people is running high grasses, when the police is chasing them, they hiding up underneath. That's how some of, you know, they hiding up underneath the grass, so the people's getting away with whatever they gonna get away with, but, you know, the resident is scared because a lot of that high grass is right by their yard, and if you peep out and you see this person that running, you tell them to be quiet. You know, you gotta be quiet or you might come back after you, you know, so it's very dangerous, you know, so we're looking for more safety in our city as well. And I'm looking forward to do more in our community. I have got a space, I could say really an office space on Euclid for my ward too, at the Bible bookstore, you know, so my residents can actually come in and see me personally. So they won't have to be calling up the city hall. They can come directly. So I'm looking forward to greet my residents and have a meeting with them. So that is, you know, everything. Thank you.
Is there anything else for this body? I accept the meeting for adjournment.
I'm moving it, sir.
Okay, second. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you all.